Welcome everyone to Automotive World. I'm your host, my name is Mystery, and tonight we have a really exciting teaser coming out of Toyota. We are just, as of filming right now, as you can see, it is about 9:24. So we are just about a day away from seeing the new Toyota 4Runner tomorrow, all new generation. Toyota has given us one more little teaser though, and we have confirmed for the 4Runner a Trailhunter trim is coming. Let's go over the picture first, then we're going to go over both the press releases, which there's not really much on there, but we'll go on there just to see what they say. And then at the end, I'm kind of going to give my thoughts on what I think about the Trailhunter trim coming to the 4Runner, what I think the pros are, what might the cons be. But let's start off with this picture here. We do get a picture. I mean, obviously we can see here, this is, bottom right corner. We can see a defined shape within, the tailgate of the vehicle. There's not really much here. Obviously, it just shows the Trailhunter badge with the logo there. So we do know the Trailhunter is going to come to the 4Runner. We don't know, any pricing or anything like that. We don't know how they're going to equip it. I would assume they're probably going to equip it how, as they have with the other Trailhunter models, especially with Tacoma, just being how closely related it is. But there's also going to be some pros and cons with that, because I think now with this new 4Runner coming out, it's going to be a little bit different than the older 4Runner. So in terms of picture-wise here, we really don't have much, so we can really close this out. We do have the original press release for the 4Runner showing the rear sliding window. That was on April 4th, and there's nothing here. There's nothing here at all. We go to the newer one, which just came out today. We have this one here coming, obviously we know it's April 9th. We have that same picture here. We just have them telling us it's going to come out, debuted April 9th, 7:15 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. For people like me in the Eastern Standard Time Zone, it's around like 10 o'clock, so it is actually going to be, depending on where you live, a pretty late reveal. I know most of the time we're accustomed to waking up and hearing the car news, but this one, you might be up for it. You might just be going to sleep and it might be coming out. So that's going to be really interesting. Other than that, here, we don't really have anything much. Obviously, we just have a little, little kind of synopsis and, Toyota, and especially Toyota America and the Lexus brands and things like that. No real information or anything, just saying that, hey, they are expanding the Trailhunter lineup, and that is going to include the 4Runner. Let's talk about what I think are the pros and cons of this. Pros is that it's great to see Toyota, add a Trailhunter trim to this, expand the lineup. Not a lot of people need a TRD Pro or want a TRD Pro, but they kind of want something in between, something that would be, TRD Off-Road and TRD Pro. A lot of people are going to love the Trailhunter aesthetic look. Obviously, too, the 4Runner, like the Tacoma is very popular with off-roading, but really the 4Runner is, it's kind of almost symbolic with off-roading. It's like almost hand in hand, Obviously, there's tons of off-roaders you can pick from Gladiators to, any of the Jeeps, any of the Broncos, but the 4Runners have, been on the trails forever. TRD Pro has been on the trail forever. So the fact to see that, we're getting Trailhunter on this new 4Runner, Toyota is thinking about a very large, very large demographic of their consumers that buy off-road trims. Maybe they don't always take it off-road, especially if you live in Florida here, but for those who buy those off-road trims, it shows that, hey, that they are going to care about that community. It is really, really nice to see that, because we see that with so many cars, whether it's trucks, sedans, sports cars, we see them, dumbing down the numbers and things like that, and really forgetting about those communities and the pedigrees that, built that vehicle's name up. So this, the fact to see that, hey, Toyota is realizing the 4Runner is predominantly used as an off-road vehicle, which it is. It's a great vehicle to have as like a camera rig and all that. Is really, really good to see, and it's really good to see that we're getting that on the new 4Runner being a Trailhunter model, especially with the old 4Runner, how old it was. It's still a very capable vehicle, but it's kind of like it was almost forgotten, one of those forgotten vehicles in the lineup. And that's really the pros that we have on there, is that this vehicle is going to be capable. This vehicle is going to be, in theory, more capable than the current 4Runner, which it should be, because just like the old Tundra and the old Tacoma and the old 4Runner, this vehicle has a huge following, it has a huge fan base, it has a huge pedigree, and it has a huge reputation. So they cannot mess this up. They cannot mess this up. However, though, this brings, in my opinion, some possible cons, because not only on Trailhunter, we don't know what Toyota is going to give us in terms of specs on the 4Runner. We can assume, and we know it's probably going to be very closely related to Tacoma. You know, where it's going to probably be, you know, some version of that, you know, 2.4 four-cylinder, you know, 2.4 liter four-cylinder with the turbo. It would be nice to get a hybrid model. I know, you know, we've seen on some of the other models, the hybrid model comes standard. I don't know if we're going to see that, just because generally the 4Runner has usually always been a little bit less than the Tacoma. So I don't know with the Trailhunter trim, you know, they're going to have the typical lineup, you know, being, you know, with TRD and TRD Sport and Off-Road and Pro. Obviously, this being a newer vehicle, it's all new. This is going to be more expensive from the ground up. But I just don't know how much more expensive it's going to be, because obviously we've seen with the new Tacoma how much the pricing has gone up, and that's without even having the pricing for the iForce Max engines. So it's going to be interesting, because it's, you know, with the new Land Cruiser being cheaper, starting at $50,000. My only cons is that pricing wise, I don't know where this vehicle is going to sit. Because obviously you don't want to necessarily, because I'm sure there'll be people who buy this vehicle. Even if this is a $50,000 trim, $60,000 trim, I'm sure somebody will buy it. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people who buy it. But it's like, at that point, you're pricing out those customers, and then you know, at that point, you might as well buy a Tacoma or a Tundra or a new Land Cruiser for that matter. So I wonder, pricing wise, with this being, especially because it is an all new generation, this is going to be all new from the ground up. This is going to be expensive. You know, we have to remember with the old generation, like with old, you know, with the older Tacoma and the Tundra and the 4Runner, those have been the same price, because we have to remember those vehicles, most of those vehicles have been out for, or have been updated, and they've essentially been out for over 15, 16 years. So, you know, they haven't really had time to kind of settle and kind of, you know, depreciate in terms of equity wise. You know, they haven't really been able to, you know, bring it all the way down. We know this is going to be an expensive trim, and that's one of my only cons, really. I just don't know where this vehicle is necessarily going to be priced. And that's the part that scares me. You know, because especially like with, you know, the 4Runner, like I said, this is supposed to be, you know, lower than the Tacoma. In the past, it's been a bit different, because the Land Cruiser was super high priced. It was like $100,000 vehicle, and let's be honest, it wasn't worth $100,000. There was Lexus models for 50, 60 that were way nicer. The fact that the Land Cruiser's back, it's going to start at around, you know, in the 50s. The 4Runner used to be able to sell for like easily 40 to 50,000 in those, you know, off-road trims. I just don't think they're going to be, I don't think they're going to be able to do that. And we haven't, like I said, we haven't even seen the pricing for new iForce Max with Tacoma. We know those are going to be a lot more. I wonder if it's going to be really interesting to see that, you know, is 4Runner going to, how low are they going to go? How are they going to start the pricing? Because they could give us the base engine that's in the Tacoma, which would make sense. And they could give us the hybrid, which would also make sense. It would perfectly fit in this vehicle. But it's pricing-wise with that iForce Max, it's how high is that number going to go? Because now we're in a bit of a situation, because the 4Runner has to be the entry-level vehicle. You know, the Tacoma's your mid-sizer, you got your Tundra's the full-size. You can't have a 4Runner be like in the 60s, or even, it's kind of hard to say even in the 50s really anymore, almost, or, you know, close to that, because it's like now you have a Sequoia, you have a Land Cruiser, which I honestly think the Land Cruiser might be better than the Sequoia. I'm very worried where this is going to go on the price bracket. I'm not worried that people aren't going to buy it. People are going to be able to afford this, or if they're not, people will take a loan out on it. Tons of people will buy this. I'm not worried about Toyota's numbers, because they'll do fine. I'm 100% they will. But I am worried where we're going to see this pricing wise, especially too just because we haven't seen Toyota Tacoma pricing with the iForce Max, and we already know what the pricing is right now for Tacomas. Like if we go here, right, if we go to Toyota's website, let's go to, let's just go to any of these grades, right? Let's even go to like a limited, we go to a limited, that's starting already at $52,000, which is already more expensive than the older one. We go to powertrain, they still don't have, they haven't unveiled necessarily, not unveiled is the right word, but they haven't revealed pricing and things like that for those iForce Max engines. This is with the 2.4 liter, and this is the regular version. That's a $52,000 vehicle. That's without a TRD Pro. That is without a Trailhunter. So we know that TRD Pro, Trailhunter, these are going to be like $60,000 vehicles. You come here to the new SR. That's a really good price, $31,500. That's really good price. I don't even know if the 4Runner is going to get that low. And then you come, to powertrain. Obviously, this is the one with the detuned engine, so you're only getting like 228 horsepower and 243 pound-feet of torque, which is not a lot, especially in a pickup truck. But if you drive your truck just to kind of drive your truck, like you don't tow or anything like that, that makes sense. But even that, like that's 31.5. Let's say you come to a regular version of that engine, that's 36.2. So we're already 36.2 without without iForce Max, and that's the price we're already at. And keep in mind too, the limited probably will get iForce Max because they have said that. But we know, like with iForce Max, they're not going to offer that on a base trim. They're going to offer that on the higher trims. So this is $52,000 right now, $52,100. When the iForce Max comes out, this is probably going to be at least like $55,000, and that's still just for a limited. If we go to the old 4Runner, which still love the design of it. I hate the interior, but I love the exterior look of it. Where is it? There it is. Old one's starting at 40 right now. You look, like I said, if we get the iForce Max, Sequoia is starting at 61. Now, I know it's Sequoia. That's not going to be for, that's not going to be for an off-road trim. That's going to be like a regular trim. You're not going to have any of the off-road goodies. But for a lot of people, let's be honest, a lot of people buy this vehicle and they buy the off-road trims just to make it look cool. They don't even take it off-road. They think they do, but they don't. The fact that, we're seeing the Tacoma, that could easily get into the price, and that's my con, is this can easily get into the price range of a Sequoia, of a Land Cruiser. And it's at that point, you might as well just buy a Sequoia or a Land Cruiser. This is starting at 40 here. SR5 is starting at 40. TRD Off-Road, TRD Off-Road Premium, TRD Pro is 55 already. 55. We know this is an all-new generation. We know TRD Pro, and when Trailhunter comes in, just like Limited, we'll get iForce Max. So the fact that this is already going to be this is already a $55,000 vehicle, this is all new. So they don't have room to make this vehicle cheaper. Because remember, like I said, this 4Runner has been out for a long time, over a decade. So they've been able to, the value and the equity has been able to be adjusted on this vehicle. This is going to be, this is my con though. This is going to be such an expensive vehicle in those off-road trims. And I just want to know how low can they go? How low can they go? Because the 4Runner is for two people. It's for off-roaders, and it's for, this is if you just want a nice, kind of essentially like a mid-size SUV, but you want body on frame, which very valid thing. But I just, with the Tacoma starting as low as it is, I just feel like for this new 4Runner, especially because it's going to get rid of the V6, pricing wise, I don't think it can start at 40. Like, I know I keep saying this is supposed to be cheaper than the Tacoma, but I mean, if you look at even if you look at this in the off-road trims, this is about the same price as the Tacoma in the off-road trim. It's just this price here needs to be lower, because they've already got the Sequoia, they've got a new Land Cruiser. This is what worries me, and I don't want to go. I know I've already gone way too long on this part, but this is what worries me. So, Toyota definitely, I think, it's going to be hard to start this under 40, but I think they can do it. I think they can do it because they did it with Tacoma. I don't expect this to start at 31.5. I don't expect that. But if they can get it to like 35, 37, that's pretty good. You know, especially if once you get up to like SR5 Premium. But looking at the Limited, looking at the TRD Pro price, once the iForce Max comes out on Tacoma, you know, we'll get the pricing here. So it's like, I don't see that getting cheaper. If anything, if we're lucky, this will stay the same price when the new version comes out. But I see it going up. I really, really see it going up. Because they haven't, like I said, they haven't announced pricing on Tacoma yet. So Toyota can just easily come out and then make the Tacoma pricing higher when iForce Max and Trailhunter and TRD Pro come out. And then they can make this price the same or higher. And they can say, oh, hey, this is still cheaper than the Tacoma. And that's what scares me. So we're not going to run long on this. We already have run way long enough. But that's my con, is the pricing scares me, because it's already this high, and Tacoma without iForce Max in the Limited trim, which the Limited trim will get, should get it. The fact that the Limited trim is that much without iForce Max, and there's still going to be a Trailhunter, there's still going to be a TRD Pro. That's a $60,000+ vehicle. So that's what scares me, but we'll find out hopefully tomorrow. We may not find out pricing and things, but at least we'll see what the vehicle looks like tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be a fun day. I don't want to be too much of a party poop or anything, but I just wanted to kind of go in and give a deep dive on my thoughts on the new 4Runner. I think the new 4Runner is going to be great. It's definitely time for an all-new generation. It really is time, especially that interior. That interior is 10 years too old to be into something like that, and they're charging money like that. So I'm excited for tomorrow. You know, we're probably not going to get the V6. I'm a little bit sad about that, but I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm excited to see what, you know, it holds for Toyota. I think we're all going to love the looks tomorrow. I haven't seen the front, but I think we're going to have fun tomorrow. So that's going to be that's going to be it for this video, guys. This was just really kind of me giving my thoughts on the pros and the cons. And the pros is, to sum up this video, because I know it's a long one, the pros are, hey, 4Runner, it's getting better. You know, they're adding trims, they're adding to the off-road heritage. They care about that, you know, that hardcore consumer that loves 4Runner. They cared. They're making an effort. It's only going to get more capable. The con is that it's only going to get more expensive, and it may only get a little bit more unattainable. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. We'll be making a video tomorrow. I'm not sure whether we'll be able to live stream or not, but we will be tomorrow live on Twitter, and more than likely live streaming the release of 4Runner. So join us for that, and we're going to have a good time. So have a good one, everyone.